The 5.0 section of the agenda, requests to speak to the governing board. I have 2 blue cards up here. Mrs. Odd, any other blue cards? Okay. If you wish to speak to the governing board, as 2 of you do, please fill out one of the blue cards located at the table near the door and bring it to our Secretary, Mary Ott. Apparently, that's already been done. 1 blue card per agenda item, please. The 5.0 section, which is the section we're in right now, is for items not listed on the agenda. Because these items are not on the agenda, the board is not able to respond to comments made during this section. Out of respect for the audience members and speakers, time will be limited to 3 minutes for up to 10 speakers before the regular business meeting, with the balance of after the business portion. With that, Sandra Miller, are you here with us? Okay, your 3 minutes will begin when you find your way to the microphone.
As the board remembers, we, several members of our visiting team, appeared May 12th to address a letter we'd sent to you 6 weeks earlier and received no reply. On about a week later, we got a letter from the board saying that the comments that Mrs. Waters made in her letter to the editor last October were not those that the board could be responsible for because she wasn't speaking with the board's authority. And that may end the matter for 4 board members. It doesn't end the matter for us, and it doesn't end the matter for Mrs. Waters, because Mrs. Waters was an elected public official. Her comments she is held accountable for. Personally, I think the board is too, because it took them 8 months to disavow her comments, but that's between her and the board. We are here tonight to let Mrs. Waters know that the 2 questions we've had about her comments last October are still waiting. Number 1, she claimed that federal law prohibits a school from asking a student's immigration status. We asked, what federal law? What is the name of it? What's the number? Where is it? So that we can look such a law up. We know there is no such law, statutory or case law. Number 2, her claim was that the reason for opposing Prop 200 was that it would have required teachers to violate federal law. We gave her a copy of Prop 200, asked her to identify the areas where it said the teachers had to violate federal law. And as I say, the board decided that they weren't responsible. However, Mrs. Waters is. And I'm delivering a copy of the letter to her tonight with the board's information, even though you're officially disavowed of it, for you as well. And we waited 6 weeks for the board to respond. We only got a response because we came and said we're tired of waiting. We're not going to wait 6 weeks again. Mrs. Waters has had nearly 3 months to look at these. They're very simple questions, and they are nothing more than holding a public elected official accountable for what she wrote, in writing, published in a newspaper, and signed. Now, I will say, it doesn't make any difference to us if you want to write the opinion yourself, if you want to write your answers yourself, if you want to get your comrades on the Arizona School Boards Association to help you out, doesn't matter to us. But we do want an answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Miller. You know, notwithstanding the statement that I read about us not being able to respond to your remarks, you obviously addressed these remarks to Mrs. Waters in a different capacity than the capacity that she is in. So under no obligation to do so, I at least want to give Mrs. Waters an opportunity to respond if she wishes.
On the contrary, Mr. President, she made the comments.
You had your 3 minutes. Thank you.
She made them as a school board member. That's what I'm here tonight to do.
I understand. Mrs. Waters.
The only comment that I can make is that at this point, because I am sitting in an officially called board meeting, and those comments were made when I was running for a different elected office, and it is inappropriate and illegal according to state statute 15511 to use my board office for political purposes. And since I am acting as a sitting board member right now, I cannot, I won't go there. I won't violate that statute.
Thank you, Mrs. Waters. Thank you, Mrs. Miller. Rob Sanchez. Welcome.
Hi. I've got a letter to read to the board. The board requested me to write this letter, so here I am. And because of my limited time, I'll just read the letter, maybe have a few comments afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen of the Kyrene School Board, when I presented a question in the May 12th forum, the board declined to answer until I write a letter with the questions. This letter will serve as an official delivery of those questions to the board. Question number 1, how many illegal aliens attend Kyrene School District schools? I define illegal alien as does U.S. Public Law 8, USC 1252. Question number 2, what is the estimated cost to the Kyrene District taxpayers for educating those students in question number 1? The total should be itemized to show Kyrene basic expenditures per pupil, which we saw up there, as established for all Arizona schools, as well as additional expenses including to, but not limited to, specialized programs provided, such as English language training, tutoring, meals, health services, etc. If this data hasn't been precisely tracked, then statistical estimates are acceptable until better data is produced. For more information on how to do those calculations, refer to the GAO, that's Government Accounting Office, report number 04-733 titled Illegal Alien School Children, Issues and Estimating the Cost. I think that would be a good tutorial for all of you to read. I found it interesting. Question number 3. Please describe the methodology used to gather the statistics for questions number 1 and the cost figures requested in number 2. There are no federal statutory or case laws that prohibit schools from gathering data on the immigration status of their students. If you haven't been tracking this data, I would like an explanation why not, followed by a plan on how you're going to start tracking immigration status this school year. If you feel that such a law does exist to prohibit you or that would hamper you, please provide the name, number, and registry along with the section, subsection, etc. of the statutory law. Or if it's a judicial decision, provide the case, section, text, quote, and authoring judge of the case law. Please reply on or before July 24th, 2009
Excuse
with
me,
a
that's
date.
your time, Mr. Sanchez, if
Okay,
you want to
with-
finish your sentence.
Okay, just please reply with a date by 24th when I could expect to apply with these stats. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Dr. Schauer, I'm sure you will refer this letter to the appropriate parties, and we will endeavor to respond as soon as possible.